Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome. I hope you are all safe and sound. All this crazy stuff that's going on right now. New restrictions coming in, been announced over the last day or two. But we're more concerned in this reading about the next 48 hours. So this is a general reading for the next 48 hours, asking the question, what do I need to be aware of in the next 48 hours? And I'm asking that question on the behalf of yourselves, the collective, to the universe, and asking that we get an answer which is for your highest and greatest good. So, for the next 48 hours, please, universe, conscious collective, what do I need to be aware of? This is a question for the collective, for their highest and greatest good, please. For the highest and greatest good. Okay, let's make a start. Okay, so a few cards in reverse, well, two cards in reverse in particular. So we've got your current energy is the Knight of Swords. Okay, so Knight of Swords. Swords are air signs, so that's to do with your thoughts, your reactions perhaps to people. As a knight, you can be quite impulsive and maybe lash out, and you can see here that this father is lashing out at his son, father-like figure lashing out at his son, berating him perhaps for making some kind of mistake, telling him that he's no good and never will be any good and all that kind of thing. However, what parents need to realise is that these kinds of thoughts stay with us throughout our lives and can affect how we live our lives, how we handle kind of the same kind of situations, similar situations and so on. And it's not a very good way to treat your children, really. And even though this is in reverse, all this means is that you maybe have to take a step back. Perhaps you are reacting in the same way as your parent or guardian did, whoever was your peer or whoever was responsible for bringing you up, whoever was telling you and lashing out at you in this way verbally, and you find yourself perhaps doing the same thing right now, and this card is telling you that you need to take a step back, okay, to reset yourself in that way so that you do things in a more positive way instead of reacting. Proact. Why? Ask the question, why are you reacting in such a way? Why are you getting angry about somebody else's mistake? Or perhaps you're beating yourself up for some kind of mistake, because if this was you, for example, when you were younger, perhaps now you've got limiting beliefs built up around what you've been told, and now you perhaps have that chance to step back a bit and ask the question, what can I do about them? What can I do about these limiting beliefs that are preventing me from moving forward in my life, that are blocking me, blocking my success, blocking my progress? Okay, so this is like a reflection kind of card. It's not necessarily, just because it's in reverse, doesn't really mean always that it's the total opposite of what it was before. Yes, where it's the Knight of Swords, they would rush in impulsively perhaps, and now you can slow down, you can go in reverse, but it's asking you to think. Think about your actions. What are you doing? What kind of image are you reflecting, out to the outer world? Are you reflecting this kind of image, or this kind of image, and do you want to do something about it? That's what it's asking you. So where you'd want to be is more like the Knight of Wands, and this is highly charged and passionate energy, You see this as a very masculine figure here, but this could also be, well, for any gender, this could be like strong kind of energy, sort of full of fire and passion. Could be highly sexualized as well. You know, perhaps that's what you want in your life for some of you. That might be the thing. You know, but it's knowing that you've got this power, this vitality within you to actually be ambitious and go forward, because this is like fire, Leo kind of energy, really, in that sense, where you can be very ambitious about something, a project, or, you know, go-getter kind of energy. And this is where you want to be. This is your desire over the next 48 hours to get away from this kind of situation and more into this. What is being told to you is that you're still hanging on. You know, you have here the Four of Pentacles, and that gives the impression of hanging on to something that you don't want to let go of. So perhaps there is something, perhaps you know, that you need to let go of, but either you're finding it very difficult to do so, or you know, you maybe got to a stage where you've tried so many times before and it hasn't quite worked out and you've given up. So you're just hanging on to it. Or perhaps this is also a toxic relationship that you're hanging on to. You know, it could be this kind of character, you know, friend, parent, guardian, whatever, this kind of character, you know, who's in your life, who's toxic, that you don't want to, could even be a sibling or something like that, you know, workmate, you know, but because of things that have happened in the past, you don't really want to give up. You want to let them go because you still feel a lot for them. You know, they're very close to you. Perhaps they are family, you know, and perhaps a father figure of some kind, or a mother, parent kind of figure, or whatever, you know, and you don't want to kind of let go of them. Perhaps they were even this kind of figure at one time, but for whatever reason, perhaps through an addiction or work situation or whatever, they've turned into, you know, this kind of verbally abusive kind of person, always arguing and being argumentative, you know, picking fights, not saying very nice things. You know, their mood has changed, and you'd like them to get back to that, so you're not willing really to let them go in that sense, and that's very understandable. That's very understandable, you know. We do tend to want to hang on to things that we don't want to let go of, really, you know, that we like, that we enjoy, we remember better times for sentimental reasons or whatever it is, or perhaps because, as in this case, this could well be a family member or someone close to you. It could even be your partner, you know, perhaps they're going through some kind of health issue right now that's changed their mood, and also you don't want to let go of them, you don't want to let them down in any way. However, if this is you yourself, and this is part, you know, of the limiting beliefs that you've got within you that's stopping you from moving forward, then you need to do something about it, because otherwise you're not going to move forward. You're going to be stuck in this same kind of cycle all the time, you know. And something I found out recently, that even when you do let go of something, you know, it's not fully gone. It's always there. It's part of your shadow side. It's always there. It's always stored away in the library of your soul, if you like. The archives of your soul, the library of your mind, the archives of your soul. Being romantic about it. You know, but, you know, it's always there. And every now and again it'll pop back up. And you'll think, well, I've already dealt with that. Why is it coming back up again? Because it's still there, you're still hanging on to it in some way, you know. And whether we do that consciously or unconsciously, to be honest, I don't know. Why, but it's still there. It's part of you. It's part of your shadow side. And I think I've said before, you know, we need that shadow side because it makes us whole, you know. And that's why this channel is called Sunshine and Rain, you know, because the sun gives us life, but it's the rain that helps us to grow. You know, and we need that shadow side to complete us, to make us feel whole. You know, we have the light that helps us to see, you know, where we're going, and the shadow side helps us to see who we are. So we have to face up to that shadow side from time to time. And this may be something along those lines. We have got the Five of Wands here as well. And this is like a very minor conflict kind of situation. You know, you see here, this guy here's got his big wand or whatever, and these ones here, yeah, they're almost like kids, aren't they? You know, school kids fighting the teacher. Yeah, I know, certainly when I was at school, there was quite a few kids wanted to fight the teachers, believe you me, and some did. But never mind, you know, that was back then. But this is just like a minor thing. It's more play acting than anything else. You know, quite often you see the Five of Wands as, you know, a bunch of lads in a field with their staves. You know the staffs, staves, where you want to call them. And you know, it's not a serious thing. It's a minor situation, and like I say, like play acting. So you could well be asking the question of yourself, and maybe wondering what you need to do. So maybe a slight conflict within yourself about this whole situation here. You know, how you can go forward, and you're not maybe finding the answers that you want. Okay, because we've also got the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords in reverse. Okay, so the Nine of Swords normally that's the worries, anxieties, the fears and so on that wake you up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. You know, and you can see this guy here, and he's done that, and he's woken up and he's in a sweat. You know, because he's got all these things that he's thinking about. So there's no obvious resolution here, and even with this in reverse, there's no obvious resolution. You know, perhaps because of the less serious side of this conflict, you are perhaps starting to find a resolution, but it's not there yet. It's not within the next 48 hours, which is what this reading is about. But you'll start to have a glimmer of hope, you know, as a result of that. You know, you maybe you do wake up 3-4 o'clock in the morning, but with an epiphany. Because that's the card really that's missing here at the moment, would be like the Ace of Swords, where you have that epiphany moment, you know, that aha or satori moment, if you like, where you say, right, that's what I need to do. That's what I'll do. Not quite there yet. You know, so again, this is still more thinking that needs to be done. It needs to be mulled over. You don't need to be quite like this guy. You know, you can relax a bit more and meditate on it a little bit, and think about it a bit more, and perhaps the answer will come. Maybe over the weekend or something like that. You know, you'll get the answer, and the universe will provide you with the answer. If you ask the universe for an answer, a resolution to whatever this situation means for you, you know, the universe will provide that answer. The collective consciousness will provide that answer, but make sure you ask for it to be in your highest and greatest good. Okay, because they could provide you with an answer that could have you waking up like this. You know, that you want to be more like this character, don't you? You want to be this. You want this kind of answer, whether it's for yourself or for another person, whoever it is that you know that you're asking about. Okay, this is where you want to be, but at the moment, the outcome is this. You know, you're almost there, but not quite. All right, almost there. So I'd like to clarify a couple of the cards here, and I'm going to use the Chakra Wisdom deck to do that, and I'm going to clarify first of all the Knight of Swords. Why is the Knight of Swords here, please? Because we have a card which will clarify that for our highest and greatest good, please. Top one, instinct. Okay, so you have instinct. Okay, and I'll look it up in a moment, but instinct basically means using your intuition. This is something you're inbred with, this is something you're born with. We all have instinct, we all have intuition that we can tap into to warn us of any dangers. And that's what this card means. It's like your spidey sense, if you like. So it is your intuition, it's your instinct. You know when something's not quite right. Okay, so in conjunction with this card here, okay, the Knight of Swords, you know that that situation isn't quite right, and you start looking for answers, and you start finding ways to get around it so that you can get that kind of result. Okay, so that's instinct. The Four of Pentacles. Why is the Four of Pentacles here, please? Four of Pentacles. We have discovery, so you're going to find something out about yourself, as a result of this process over the next 48 hours or so. It could go beyond the 48 hours. I mean, this reading is for 48 hours, but it could go beyond that. Okay, so there's no time limit on this reading. And it, like I said, it's a general reading, so it's for everyone, whoever's watching. This is for you. So parts of this will resonate with you, other parts won't. Whatever is relevant to you is what you need to hear right now. So you're going to find out something about yourself. You're going to make some kind of discovery about this thing that you've been hanging on to. Whether that's a limiting belief, or whether that's an obsession or an addiction, or whether it's about someone else. That this whole situation may be about someone else, as I said. So you may find a way, because this is in your helping side. Okay, this is the assistance that you're getting. So this is helping you to discover a path, a possible path out of this particular situation. Okay, and also you have the Five of Wands there. There's maybe some kind of conflict. This is in your obstacles or further assistance kind of area here. So with this Five of Wands, yes, there may be some resistance to that. Perhaps the path that's shown you by the universe isn't to your liking, because it feels uncomfortable, steps you out of your comfort zone, but it is the right path for you. And I'm going to find out, because that's the Nine of Swords then, please. I'd like to clarify the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords, please. Is recovery. So you are going to recover from this situation. It's going to turn out well. There's going to be a recovery, either for yourself or for the person that this represents, or the situation itself is going to improve. Okay, so this is what you realize when you wake up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Not this way round, but this way round. That there's a chance, there's a way of doing it. Not quite there yet, but you have the feeling, you have the gut instinct, the intuition, what you feel in your heart. That the universe is telling you that there is going to be a recovery from this situation. Okay, so there's no need to be worrying and full of fear and anxiety anymore, because the universe, as always, has got your back in these things. So it has your best interests at heart, and it's going to help you to by providing opportunities for you to find release from this situation. Okay, so I was going to read the cards out, read the book, so let's go into it then. Instinct, then I'm going to have to put my other eyes on so I can read. I have got varifocals, but the reading part of my normal glasses tend to be very good for reading for whatever reason. So anyway, instinct, and the legend about this card then is: wolf climbs the treacherous rocks, his eyes always fixed on the high ground. During the time he prepared to be a guardian, his master trained him never to turn back. When we look behind, we sap the energy we are to use in the future, his master said. Wolf's defense is his instinct, and he senses danger. Hence, Wolf journeys on and does not look below for his enemies. He climbs unseen, for only those who seek a spirit guide can see him. Okay, so you sense danger, you sense there's something wrong, but you're not focusing on what the enemy, if you like, is. You're not focusing, if it's a person, you're not focusing on them person as an enemy. You're focusing on them out of a position of love. Perhaps it is someone, like I said before, who's now got an illness of some kind, a mental illness of some kind, and they are treating you badly. Or perhaps there was someone in your past life that treated you badly, verbally and whatever, but it's taught you many lessons along the way, and you've become a much better person as a result of that. But you've still got some scars that need healing. Okay, so it could be anything along those lines. Your instinct is finely tuned, so why doubt it? Your journey is guided, so you have divine help along this journey. For all of this, okay, you've got divine help. All you got to do is ask for it. It's being offered to you. But if you don't ask for it, ask and you shall receive, as the good book says. If you don't ask for things, you're not going to get them. Sometimes you get given to them anyway, but if you don't receive them, you've been given something, you could refuse it. So watch out for that. Watch out for any divine help, any synchronicities and so on. This could be in the form of a person that you can speak to about this. This could be in the form of some knowledge you receive, a book or a video or anything these days, a program that you watch on TV about this similar kind of situation that you're in, and it provides you with some answers or possible answers. Okay, so watch out for that. So discovery then. Discovery. Discovery. Self-worth. A moment please, I shall be there, I shall be with you. Discovery, here we go. I am more than I think I am. Okay, so this is about discovering who you really are in that sense. Okay, so the legend says, life is easy for young Pink. He takes his gifts for granted until one day he loses Petunia, the love of his life, forcing him on an inner journey. He works hard on himself, hoping for another chance that doesn't come. In desperation, he consults Sky God and learns that Petunia is incapable of receiving love. Pink recognizes that Petunia's role in his life has been to expand his capacity to love. Okay, so you discover you're hanging on to something that isn't worthwhile, and that's what the Four of Pentacles usually represents, doesn't it? You have that, it's hanging on to something that's not good for you. I mean, it can also mean that you're hanging on to your savings, which is good for you. Providing you're still able to take care of your needs and so on. You may be reluctant to dip into your savings, especially during the times that we're living in. But this can also be like a miserly type of card, where you're hanging on to things that you don't need to anymore. You're hoarding, or you're hanging on to habits and things because maybe you enjoy those habits. It could also be as well. But you're discovering that there's more to that than meets the eye, that you can expand in your knowledge, in the way you view yourself, or how you view the other person who may be involved in this particular situation. So are you trying to recapture a past that no longer fits? Okay, are you trying to recapture, if it's a person that we're talking about here, are you trying to recapture this kind of person? This is what you want back in your life, but they're no longer there. They've gone, they've moved on, they are now the other person that we saw with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. You know, they're that person now, and this person will probably never come back. You've got to take that into account as well. You know, or maybe this is yourself. This is how you used to be, and you want to get back to that. You're trying to recapture that. But what you've got to do is recreate yourself. You can't go back into the past and be you. Same as that other person can't go into the past and be themselves, because they've moved on. That energy no longer is. The energy that we have is now, in the now. So you are who you are now, and you can recreate yourself to become this person again, but it has to be done anew. Okay? You can't bring it from the past. So this is maybe what you're discovering right now as well. So if you are presently upset or struggling with a difficult situation, you may be seeking to keep something that is far less than what you deserve. Alright, so the questions to ask yourself are, am I happy in this situation? How is it benefiting me? The healing of predetermined agreement must be addressed. Awareness is healing. So when you discover who you really are, or what this situation really represents, you can start to heal. Okay? So leaving the past behind is a good idea. You can't live in the past. You can visit the past in your mind, but don't bring it into your now. Reliving the past is not healthy, whether it's positive or negative, because it's in the past. You know, having good memories is great, but you can't relive that past in the now, because the now is all we have, and the now is for now, and it's going towards your future, which hasn't yet formed. Okay, so don't live in the past. Right, then we have recovery. Recovery. That's blue, recovery cross. Is it purple or blue? I think it's purple. So, excuse me a moment. Just find this one. Recovery, here we go. So, pain from our past unlocks the door of understanding. Okay? Greta wakes to find painful childhood memories all around her room, and in the distance appears a huge wooden door with white light streaming through the keyhole. As Greta tries to gather up her painful memories, they melt and form the great lilac key. She places the key in the lock, and a wave of fear engulfs her. The door opens, and the pain and fear recede. Clarity comes. Survival is no longer enough. Okay, so here you can see the key right in the center here. This is all your past memories, you know, of this particular situation, whether it's personal, you know, whether it's you yourself, or whether it's about a person in your life. You know, all these memories and things like that, all this stuff coalesce because you're looking, you know, for a solution. You know, and you maybe find out that through the discovery you get the idea. The idea comes to you that you need to open that door, face your fear, and do it anyway. As Susan Jeffers would say in a fantastic book she wrote, what was it, in the 80s, 90s, something like that. I've always remembered it. Face your fear and do it anyway. Face up to it. You know? Because if you allow the fear to get the better of you, you'll never move forward. You know, because it'll always slow you down, it'll always pull you back. You know, and you won't get to this kind of situation at all. You know, you won't be able to renew, you won't be able to recover. If you face the fear, you may find ways, you probably will find ways of getting around it. You'll have that thought, that idea that you need, which will help you to overcome all these situations that are happening here, or this situation that's happening here, so you can make a full recovery. It's quite an intense reading, guys. Quite an intense reading. I didn't expect that for the next 48 hours, sorry. But like I said, this reading could well be beyond 48 hours. I'm feeling that you're not going to get that answer in the next 48 hours. It's going to take longer, most likely. But possibly over the weekend, I don't know. We have to wait and see what the universe has in store for you in that regard. Hopefully all will work out well for you guys. Really appreciate you watching, and if this resonated with you, please leave a comment below. Let me know, how you feel about this, and like, share, subscribe, and ding that bell as well, please, to support me on this channel, which I'll certainly very, very much appreciate. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, I've got there's a way to do that in the description below, and also you can support me in other ways as well. So thank you once again for watching, guys, and be with you once again very soon. So until then, bye bye now.